Welcome back to the channel. So this is lecture 3 of our exception handling in Python series. So in our previous video, that is video number 1, we learned about the basics of exception handling. We learned about the keywords like try, except, else, and finally, and how to use them and some of the best practices of it. In the second lecture, we learned about the raise keyword. We know how important it is in the while developing the complex project. In today's video, we will learn about the custom exception classes, like how to create uh, cus the custom exception classes, right? So we have learned that we have some inbuilt like exception classes like exception, which is like the highest level basically, right? So we have the division by zero exception, and then like we have the name error, we have type error. So these all are the inbuilt exception classes. But what if you want to create a exception class like name is not value, name is not valid, right? So there will be a scenario in the production in real-time environment there where you will need to create such type of classes, right? So how to create these kind of classes and give the parameters to it according to the need basically. So let's see that. So here if we see like this is the syntax basically. This is how we write, right? So here we have the try, and then we write the code where we expect that the error can happen or there could be exceptions basically, and then we like try to catch those exceptions. But till now we have seen the examples where we have these classes are inbuilt, right? But in today's video, we will be seeing how to create the custom exception classes, right? So here, if you see this custom exception, so what we need to do, we need to create a class, and that class would be inheriting the base exception classes. So this can be anything. We can have the runtime exception, we can have the exception classes, or like you can see the all the possible option in the documentation, right? That we need to inherit basically. So this is, and here we need to like basically write the code of our basically the way in which we want to store the values and pass it, right? So yes, I think this is the um, basic starter for this one, basically the syntax. Now let's start with the program. So let's say we are making an application where like we need to validate the user entered value. If the value is greater than 18, then we need to make that then we need to basically pop up the message that hey, you are eligible for the vote. And if the value is less than 18, then that particular uh, that particular person won't be eligible for the giving the vote, right? So what exactly here we are doing is, so this is basically the case one when we are not passing any like messages over here. Like you can see, like in the previous video you have seen, right? I have written like name, error, and then I was passing the messages, right? So here basically I'm not passing any message basically here. And basically you can see that this is the custom class, right? Invalid age, and here like I have defined it. So invalid age, and I'm inheriting the uh, exception class basically, right? So you can see, and this is simple, right? I think if you are following my other two videos, so you might be knowing this piece of code, right? So I'm not going to explain this again. So basically this is simple code. So if the user enter the value which is less than 18, then we are raising this exception. And like once this exception is raised, it will be get catched over here, and we would be printing this message. So let's see this. So I have ran this. So let's say if I enter a age like 34, then you are eligible for the vote, hooray, right? Because 34 is more than 18. So let me run it again. and if I put a value like 12, so let's see what we are getting. So your age is less than 80, you are not eligible, right? So this is the message which we are getting over here. So this is the case when we are not passing any messages over here. So let's say the second case basically where we would be passing the message over here only. So if you see here we are passing the message, and that message like will come in the EIE, and that we are printing over here. So this should be simple, I think. So let's say if I enter again 14. So let's see the same message, right? Your age is less than 18 and you are not eligible. I think you understood. Okay, so I think this should be easy, like this should be quick video, unlike the other two videos. So now if you see the program number 2, so here what exactly we are doing, we are like storing the message and the like the other thing also over here, right? And then we will provide the messages like this. Okay, so let's see how this works. So basically, let me comment this first and let me uncomment this, right? So what exactly we are doing? We are inheriting this. Like let me explain you the program basically. So here this company is there. So if the monthly salary of that, like the user will enter his monthly salary, and if it is less than 50K, then he or she is not eligible for the loan basically, and if it is more than that, then he or she is eligible for the loan. So that's why we are having this exception class named salary is less, right? So like we need to raise the exception wherever like whenever the value is the entered salary value is less than 50K. I hope you understood this point. So like and we are like passing the message basically over here, right? So if you see here, like while calling this exception class, we are passing two values, that is the message and the salary which was entered by the user, and that we are basically that is getting stored in the constructor. So by the way, our next series would come on the object oriented programming in Python. So this won't be like the other playlist which you have seen where we discuss about the basics of the classes and all those things, but we would be learning about the real time scenarios of oops, right? So let's see. So basically, I think this like I think program is quite simple. We are just simply storing the salary and messages. And as of now, I have like once this is called, then this value would come. This value would come over here E, and we are printing E. So in the next run, we will see how we can customize this message basically. So let me run this. So let me enter the value as 23K. So now if you see, we are getting this value as it is, right? I hope you understood this. Okay. So, but this is not how we want to like represent this message, right? We want this to be in a customized way. So like this is how we can access basically. So here we have basically the object, right? So this returns the object. So from that object basically we are using this salary. So from here we are getting the salary using that object, and then message, and we are printing the message like this. Your current salary is this, right? So let me run this. Let's say if I enter a value, right, 60K, right? So it is more than 50K, right? So that's why we are saying like this is not I think 60K, it is 6 lakh. So like that's why the like we are getting into this else block, and we are getting this message. So let me run this again and put the values like 34K, right? So now you can see the custom message. Your salary is your current salary is this much, and for the loan, the monthly salary should be more than 50K. I hope you understood this point also. Now, the third thing is like this is the final scenario. So here, what exactly we are doing is we have the class like error, which is inheriting the exception class, and we are not defining anything over here. Then we have the transition error. So this class is basically inheriting error class, and error class is basically inheriting the exception class. So we have everything from so in the transition error. Class, we have the properties of exceptions also and properties of error also. So whatever we define over here, that would also be here in transition error and in the exception. So that is how the inheritance works, right, in OOPS. So basically what exactly we are doing, we are storing the previous and next value and the message value. So this should be, I think, simple. And here the message which we want to show while raising the exception, or while while handling that particular exception. So here you, if you see, we are simply raising the exception, and we are printing the message basically, right? So let me run this. As I told you in this basically in this program, that this will return an object that will be stored in error, and using that object we can access the basically the instance variable over here. So yes, I think this is how we write the uh, customize exception classes and play with it along with the inbuilt classes which are there. So if you like this content, please do like, subscribe, share the channel. So in our next video, we would be starting with the OOPS concept in Python. So stay tuned.